How's
Okay.
the hair? I've got a helmet here.
You guys ready?
Ready when you are.
Perfect,
Into
mate.
that camera.
So where am I looking?
Into this camera.
So welcome back to La Liga Talks. Me and Ollie here again, and today we have a very special guest, Matt Cannon. Matt, tell us a bit about what you do, why you're here, and what we're going to talk about today.
Well, guys, it's a pleasure to be alongside you both. We've been talking about it for ages. It's finally happened. And yeah, so I'm Matt. I work for LALIGATV, the international channel, and I'm the Real Madrid correspondent. So I follow all the games, Real Madrid, home and away. And whether that be press conferences, games, you know the drill.
Yeah,
so
so
that's pretty much
you're
it.
the Real Madrid expert for
Well,
this El Clasico special.
I'm not sure if I'd go that far.
Yeah.
It's nice of you to say. I try my best, but
Well, you've probably been one of the people in the world who's been around the team and to the games more than anyone, so you should have quite a good understanding of how Real Madrid look going into this game, I assume.
I think so. I think Real Madrid. Where do we start? I mean, shall I just go for it?
Well, yeah, just get into it.
Maybe start the last weekend's result. You were there at the game, right?
I was.
There was a certain feeling of tension.
Certainly, there's been a lot of tension at the Bernabeu. Obviously, I've been very fortunate to go to all the games this season at home, and you can really feel it. I mean, Real Madrid fans are the most demanding fans in the world. They expect the very best from the team, and inside the Bernabeu, they're not afraid to make their feelings known. You know, so whether that be grumbling or whistles, you know, the whistles, the handkerchiefs, waving them.
Yeah.
So those whistles have sort of characterised the Bernabeu a little bit in recent weeks. I think there's a lot of tension, a lot of frustration, particularly since the Copa del Rey, obviously out of the Champions League, which they very much is a competition they pride themselves on. And you can really feel the tension starting to build. I think the fans know that their season is at stake. It hangs in the balance. And we'll have to see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
big game.
Do you think the frustration from the Real Madrid fans comes from they were the best team in the world last year, and then you add the best player in the world in Mbappe, and for some reason they haven't clicked in the way they would have liked to?
Absolutely. I think everyone was expecting at the beginning of the season for them to take another step forward with Mbappe. You know, you've already won two major trophies. You win the league and the Champions League. You sign Mbappe, what's going to happen? You're going to win trebles. You're going to win 4, 5, 6 trophies a season. And what happened was the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, they've almost, as they say in Spanish, it's been a bit of a bajón. You know, they've rather than going up, they've kind of gone down. And I think the expectation certainly plays a part. Certainly influences what we're seeing now. Because obviously the fans were expecting at this stage of the season to be in the Champions League semi-final, hopefully winning the Copa del Rey, and obviously the league as well. And that's not happened, and so fans are thinking, you know, what's happened?
Yeah.
Why? This shouldn't be the case. We're Real Madrid. We should be winning anything. And obviously they're not.
And then you got the biggest rivals, who obviously the game this weekend, El Clasico, Football Club Barcelona, Real Madrid. In contrast to what we've just said about Real Madrid, Barca have gone the other way.
Exactly.
Obviously with the introduction of Hansi Flick, what he's getting out of these players, obviously the explosion of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, these types of players, it's been it's been the opposite for Barcelona. So this is where the storyline for this weekend works very well, because Real Madrid could literally spoil the party. It was kind of the mindset going into the Copa del Rey final, which obviously was one of the best games of the year. That's like the most recent example we have of this matchup, and it definitely delivered. Although this game will be different, obviously 90 minutes, and different players have become injured since then.
Absolutely, I agree. That was a cup final. Cup final always brings a different atmosphere, a different type of game. I almost felt that Barcelona wanted to play that game openly, almost like, let's have it. It's a cup final. Let's see how that goes. I mean, we spoke about some of the Real Madrid players there. Mbappe, for example, arguably struggling, arguably not.
He did score 2 bangers of the weekend.
It's
Matt,
strange,
talk
isn't
to us
it?
about that, because like Mbappe could be the most important, player in this game for Real
He made
Madrid.
an impact on the Copa del Rey final.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, it's a really strange one with Mbappe. I mean, I was at the game against Athletic Club 2-3 weeks ago now, and he was obviously injured. He was sitting in the stands, and the cameras panned around to Mbappe, and people started whistling. And I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, you know, of all the players, despite all the issues this season, he is the one standout performer. The stats don't lie. What is it now? 24 league goals, 24 Liga goals. I think 35 in all competitions of his first season. I think he's already broken several records, already surpassed several of the legendary, iconic in their first season. But he was whistled. You think, what on earth? Like, why? How? But I think the demand is so high. They want to see him performing week in, week out. And if you have a bad game...
It's weird though, sorry Luke.
But those goals as well.
It's strange though with the Mbappe thing because it's not his fault that the team is playing worse since he arrived. He's doing actually the business. It's maybe a problem with the other players. Like maybe the other players should be booed more than Mbappe in this case.
I think so. I think he's become a bit, maybe the scapegoat a little bit because of the expectation.
Yeah.
Because people thought Mbappe, he's going to smash it, he's going to score 40 goals and we're going to win everything. And now that hasn't happened, I think maybe he's become potentially a little bit vilified because of that.
Yeah.
But the goals of the weekend, that was textbook Mbappe.
Unbelievable. Textbook Mbappe.
Talk us through it. Like.
I mean, just finding the space behind the defenders. Just he's so quick. When he latches onto that ball, all he needs is a good pass.
Yeah.
If he holds his run, 99% he's going to score. And those finishes,
yeah.
I mean, his first one, obviously Guler opened the scoring, by the way. I'm sure we might discuss in a bit.
We'll touch on him.
But what a finish. I mean, that's what Mbappe thrives on, those nice little passes in behind, and if he can catch on...
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good time to bring in this Arda Guler conversation because...
Turkish delight.
Oh.
Did
you prepare that one before?
He's been using that one on Twitter captions all year.
I might steal that. My next connection, Turkish delight, yeah.
Matt can use that for his pitch side commentary.
Absolutely,
but this
Don't say we left you empty-handed from La Liga Talks, do you?
I'll give you a shout out.
But even this Guler factor, it seems like the start of the season, Ancelotti wanted to find like someone who could play in midfield and control the game and with a good passing range. Obviously to replace Cruz. Now Guler is a different profile and Ceballos didn't really end up fitting the profile that Ancelotti wanted. But in recent weeks, Arda Guler stepped up for Real Madrid and been the main man for them and scored a great goal against Getafe and again against Celta Vigo. Both like long shots, which is kind of very impressive in itself to just create a goal out of nothing. So yeah, how is Arda Guler looking? Do you think he'll start this Clasico?
Well, that's one of the main debates going into the Clasico. Who will form... First, what system Ancelotti might use? Will he go with a 4-3-3? Will he stick Rodrigo back in that front three? Or will he potentially do a 4-4-2 with a bit more of a diamond in midfield, which is what we've seen in recent weeks, which is something I actually think it works better for them, to be honest. I think they have a little bit more solidity. They control the game a bit better. But Guler's been brilliant. It's almost like a carbon copy of last season. Because we saw in the last sort of 7-8 games last year, he suddenly exploded, very little game time, and he scored, 7 goals, I think, in the final phase of last season. I've been really impressed with him. I don't know what's gone on there, because he's clearly got so much talent. And Ancelotti keeps repeating, hay que chupar banquillo. You have to sit, you have to be, if you want to succeed at Real Madrid and you're a young player, you have to learn to sit on the bench and take your chance. But I think in the past couple of games we've seen what he's capable of doing. I don't know why when Real Madrid, when they've had so many injury problems as well, all the personnel issues they've had this season, why he's not had more game time.
He's a baller.
It's beyond me. He's so good. He's got so much class. He gets in between the lines. He also drops back and receives the ball. He does a little bit of everything.
But it's a thread in the eye of the needle that they lack in this team that Cruz could do with so much ease last year. I think that pass to Mbappe was he cut the whole defence open with that pass, and it's that left footer as well. Just a bit of magic.
Bit of a wand of a left foot, hasn't he?
It is.
Exactly. I mean, he is nearly like. He would want to be the Lamine Yamal of that Real Madrid team, whereas like moving back over to Barca and like what Flick's done with Yamal in comparison to like Ancelotti holding Guler back, Yamal's the example of this working.
The difference between the two sides, right? You have a young team, a vibrant team under Flick, where people are getting their chance. Like, we can name there's numerous names in there, but like you said, at Real Madrid at the moment, those younger players, maybe at the cost of the signing of an Mbappe, a Vinny Jr. There's not so many youngsters coming through right now. Like maybe that's the biggest difference.
I think so.
Between the two sides.
Actually, Flick's done that so well in this Barca team. Whereas, last season I was looking at a player like Inigo Martinez, who wasn't getting played at all under Xavi, and it seemed like. Obviously, Kubarsi came in halfway through last season, got his starting position, but then it was nearly a fight between Araujo and Christensen. This season, Flick's just trusted Inigo Martinez, who's been arguably the best centre-back in the league this season. So that's like quite a contrast between the two managers, because Flick seems like he has the freedom to just kind of see the squad he has and play it the way he wants. Whereas maybe with Madrid, because of the Galactico signings and all this, they have to play. Whereas even like the Szczesny Ter Stegen thing, like there's many examples.
And talking of the differences between the two sides, you could argue, I've seen opinions, I hold the same opinion, that maybe the Ancelotti tactics are starting to fade with the flexibility against the Hansi Flick tactics. There's more rigidness, there's more of a team spirit. Obviously we've seen that Vinny and Mbappe, they make some of the top players in the top 5 European leagues who run the least. Up top there, that's no secret now. Ancelotti over the years has reportedly been told to tell his players to go out and do what they feel like doing on the pitch, get a feeling for it. Don't think that's like that with Hansi as such. Is that a big difference, and how much of an impact does that make? We spoke about the players there, like Mbappe. Is it more tactical? Is it more about tactics not fitting at the moment? Why Real Madrid have been coming off worse?
I mean, I think so. I think you have to evolve with the times, and I think Ancelotti is maybe a bit more of an old school manager in the sense that he knows he's got good quality in his starting 11, and he says, go out and play football. I think nowadays you sort of have to press. You have to do certain things in this modern game because everyone's evolving, and if you don't, you get found out, and Real Madrid have been found out on a number of occasions, particularly on a tactical level, because for me they've been so reliant on individual brilliance, moments of magic. Look at the game last weekend, 3 golazos, 3 brilliant finishes.
Sometimes you just want to 1, 2, 3 tap in, you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
It's break down the defence that way.
They're defending, boom, 1, 2, 3 passes, you're in the final third, Mbappe, bit of brilliance, bam. Guler, just a beautiful finish. Mbappe again for the 3rd goal, and I think that sort of epitomises the season so far. Real Madrid have been so dependent on those individuals.
I mean, that's like Barca and Real. They're just 2 massively different styles of football club, and that's why this game is so fascinating, because it's 2 different styles, 2 different cities, the 2 biggest clubs in the world. And this weekend it seems like it's all in Barca's hands. And that's why we're so intrigued to see if Real can. But
that's what we got to do, right? We focused on the negatives a little bit there for Real Madrid, but of course a win here completely spin the title race on its head.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
who are some of the players that we could see affecting that game positively for Real Madrid? Obviously got the likes last year. Who was it? Jude Bellingham. He's been playing a deeper role this season.
Yeah.
Might he be moved forward? Might he have a bigger impact on this game?
I think he should be further up the pitch. Personally, I think he needs that freedom, and I think he almost needs to have that freedom to be a part of that 3 up top. That's why I prefer maybe 4-4-2, because he can then drop into those positions in between the lines and get into the box, which he's so good at doing. We saw the goal threat that he has last year. How many goals did he score? I can't even remember now, but a lot. And this season, he seems to be sort of doing a bit of everything. And I think Jude needs that freedom in attack to really make an impact on the game. He's doing a brilliant job defending, bringing the ball back.
Underrated season he's having.
100%. I think he's having a brilliant season. He's just not contributing.
He actually
with those
assisted
goal
Mbappe at the weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look at his numbers, they're still pretty good for a midfielder this season. But in terms of difference makers, I think obviously Kylian Mbappe. What you expect sort of Vinicius to step up in a game like this.
What's the story with Balde? Is he might be back for the Clasico, but if not, it'll be Jared Martin or Inigo Martinez, who stepped into left back recently.
I was going to say, when you asked about players that might make an impact, I think it's the players that might potentially be a weak point that could be decisive in this game. Like someone like Jared Martin, who, he's a good player, but for me, he's not good enough to start in a Clasico. And I think if Vinicius has a good day, if the wingers are having a good day, I think that could be a really it could be a weak point for Barcelona, to be honest.
Obviously, the other way
and
of it
Koundé
is the
as
defence, but the defence of Real Madrid is like completely makeshift. Rudiger's gone, Militao's gone, Carvajal's gone, Mendy's gone. So there's a full new back 4 there, which has looked less than defensively solid.
Very unconvincing. I mean, it's a massive, like you said, Ollie, it's a makeshift back 4. I mean, we saw Jacobo Ramon come on the other day and he had a bit of a nightmare, didn't he? I mean, and that speaks volumes of the issues that they're having, because Carlo Ancelotti never really gives opportunities to the young players. The crisis was so bad that his hand was forced, and he had to use Asensio earlier on in the season. Look how well that's turned out.
To be fair, he's having a great season.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And they really love him at the Bernabeu as well. Every challenge, every pass is greeted with applause.
He wears the Real Madrid jersey, doesn't
Absolutely, and I think they like the fact that he is from the cantera, from the youth system. Obviously, he was born in Gran Canaria, but coming up in the youth system, playing in the Castilla, they like seeing those figures. Those you can almost be a leader. I think people like Raúl in the past, icon, someone that's come up through the Castilla. They need players like that at Real Madrid because there's otherwise, you can see anyway. But
then Vasquez at right back. Like,
Vasquez could be a problem
like
defensively.
If Rafinha's on Vasquez, like.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that the key jewels will be down the wings.
Yeah.
Vasquez against Rafinha. If Rafinha has a good day, Vasquez is going to struggle. Big time. Fran Garcia. Yeah, he's good. He work rate, gets up the line, but defensively.
Not that I think Lamine cares at the moment who he faces.
Lamine Yamal against Fran Garcia, that might be the biggest mismatch
well,
in
I think that's
Clasico history.
A good place
with
to
all due
bring
respect
in
to Fran, who's a good player, but again, not sure if he's level to start for Real Madrid in El Clasico.
So that's where we move on to Lamine, who really is the chosen one, it seems. And with recent performances, as Luke said, he took DeMarco to the shops in the first leg of the Champions League.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch.
And even
the first leg, first half,
so
that
good.
first leg was one of honestly, it reminded me of Pep Guardiola's teams in the Champions Leagues of yesteryear. Like, brilliant to watch. It was so exciting.
Yeah. So I think Lamine, like, this could be his time. He has a pretty good record in Clásicos. He scored in the Super Cup. He scored in the first La Liga Clasico of this season.
Showing Ishstein there.
Exactly. So this is now his time to shine with the Travis Scott Barcelona jersey. Like,
fire, by the way.
Yeah, they have
really
the drip.
Nice,
so
really nice.
He's
drip.
surely going to
really
do some
nice
sort
drip.
of dance, like if he scores.
For sure.
My 2 cents on Lamine is that I genuinely think he's the best football player in the world already.
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I'm talking about Ballon d'Or because when he won the Copa Trophy last year, I saw clips of him like eyeing up the Ballon d'Or, and even in that moment, fresh off the Euros, I was like, he'll probably go and win the Ballon d'Or next year. He's like,
well, I think the funny thing is, the other 2 candidates for the Ballon d'Or would probably be within the same squad. Pedri and Rafinha, you'd be looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. That's where, this is why this Barca team are so exciting, because it's different storylines around these players, because Lamine is just like the child prodigy who's just everything he's done since he started playing for Barca has been perfect. Rafinha is kind of like the underdog comeback story who's now like become one of the best players in the world. And then Pedri's like, we knew he was brilliant, the injuries stopped him, and now he's back to his best.
Absolutely.
So it's just like it's beautiful to watch. Who's been your favorite Barca player of the season?
I mean, those 3 probably.
Yeah.
Lewandowski as well. I mean,
we'll mention to Kubasi maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Inigo for the surprise factor. He was probably last season 5th choice centre half at Barcelona, and now he's the one that you can't take out the side.
Yeah. And his passion and leadership has been so important.
Yeah.
And the way him and Kubasi can control the offside trap, which is actually going to be very key in this game. We saw it in the last League Clasico. Mbappe was caught offside 9 times in that game. So that in itself is just quite a crazy thing that we're going to be able to witness this Sunday.
How will they struggle with that, with Eric Garcia potentially playing right back and Gerard Martin potentially playing left back? We've seen them at times perhaps struggle coordinating that high line, because it is such a ridiculously high line. Yeah, it's. I don't think I've ever seen such a high line ever. No.
And the fact that they literally just try it every single time.
Yeah,
like they're jumping every time.
100%. And I was watching them the other day, and they were literally above the halfway line, and I thought, or just behind the halfway line. I thought, my God, that's risky. But when it worked,
particularly, right, they just kept getting through, and Barca just wouldn't stop doing it.
And they kept doing it, but it's mentally. And if you've not got that rhythm of doing it constantly, which obviously Eric Garcia doesn't have, and Gerard Martin don't have, I think that could be an issue.
Because it is fine details, it's centimetres.
It could be a toenail,
trying to break the line.
And if Mbappe holds his runs, if Vinicius holds his runs, that could be a real problem for them. So I think that could be decisive, those left and right back positions.
Wow, there's so many storylines we could talk about it all day. And it's going to be a very competitive game. And speaking of competitiveness, I've prepared a special something for today's El Clasico special.
Come on then, Quizmaster.
I will be the Quizmaster. Give me the chair.
We're doing a switch at all.
We're doing a switch.
Musical chairs.
Okay.
Oh my
Hope these
gosh.
aren't too difficult.
I'm feeling the
I'm
pressure.
trying to think now. Do you guys have your phones on you just so you can write down your answers? Because some of them are like one or the other.
Make sure it's on silent.
So now it's time for the El Clasico quiz. We're gonna do
Sportsmanship.
Yeah,
I like
that's what we want to
Fair
see.
play here
That's
at
what we want
La
to
Liga.
It's
see.
going to turn ugly later, though. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do 5 questions,
Okay.
and the boys will have to write down their answers on their phones. So, question number 1: which of the following players have never scored an El Clasico hat trick?
Never
Now, multiple choice.
Okay.
There's 4 options. One of them has never scored a El Clasico hat trick. We're gonna go.
Are you going to
with-
give us time here, or we got to buzz in? Or
No, you have to write it down.
write it down. Okay.
So, Messi, Vinicius Jr., Gary Lineker, Cristiano Ronaldo. Which one hasn't scored an El Clasico hat trick?
Vinny can't have scored. Okay.
Oh, now.
So can you give me them one more time?
So it's Messi,
Messi.
Vinicius Jr.,
Yeah.
Gary Lineker, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
I feel like that could be trying to catch me out, Cristiano. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take Matt's answer first.
Oh, we're going straight in. Oh my gosh. Never scored. I'm gonna go with. Do you know what? This is embarrassing, but I'm gonna say Vinicius.
Vinicius,
I'm going Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
I don't remember I remember a few doubles.
I feel like it could be Cristiano as well. It's one that catches you out, isn't it? The two
Well,
best
the
players.
answer is Cristiano Ronaldo has never scored a Clasico.
That's bad. I
hat
should
trick.
remember Vinicius. One.
His record
Oh,
in
that means-
Clásicos was like insanely good, but no hat tricks.
I knew that was a banana skin.
Yeah.
I knew
When did
it.
Messi get the hat trick then? I'm trying to. That's going to be obvious as well.
When was Vinny's one?
I don't have that stat, but he definitely has scored one.
Great quiz,
Viewers, I'm
master.
trusting
Yeah.
you to check this out.
Okay. Next one. Who has more clean sheets this season? Courtois or Chesney?
Wow.
Write your answers down, because I don't want you changing answers.
Who has
No
more
trust
clean
on this
sheets?
podcast.
Luke's has a record
I'm
of
sorry,
cheating
but-
on this quiz.
Is he a bit of a cheater?
Never.
Is he?
Okay,
Didn't expect
Luke,
that of Lukey boy.
I'll take your answer.
I'm going to go Chesney. Cigar in the mouth. Sat back. Keeping.
I've gone Courtois.
Wow. The answer is Thibaut Courtois, of course.
Come on.
Chesney's, well, there was Iñaki Peña was in for a while.
Yeah.
Chesney came in. I'll give you the stats. Thibaut Courtois has 11 clean sheets and Chesney only has 7.
Oh, it's not even close.
Iñaki Peña had 3, so if Chesney played the whole season,
Not bad,
who knows?
Chesney.
but-
Yeah,
Okay, another one from the current season.
yeah. Ooh, okay.
And this is a massive debate around the world, so let us know in the comments.
I've heard there's 2 points riding on this one.
No, it's only 1-0 so far, so maybe when we get to the
He's
end.
already cheating. He's already trying to cheat.
Okay.
Trambas.
Massive debate in world football. But which of these players has more assists in La Liga this season? Jude Bellingham or Pedri?
That's a really good one.
I mean, every time we post any content about either of these players, the Barca fans will post Pedri stuff, the Real Madrid fans will post Bellingham stuff. But this is where it's a numbers game.
I think it could literally be one or two different. One,
gotta be close.
One
It's got
goal
to be
or
close.
one assist, I should say.
Go on then, I'll go in. Well, you know who my answer is going to be, don't you? It's
Okay.
it's the man. You're going to go Jude Bellingham.
You're going
I
Bellingham?
have to agree.
Both correct.
Yes.
Bellingham has 8 assists
I was
and
gonna say
Pedri
8.
has only 4.
Oh, 4.
Pedri's the metronome.
And
He's
honestly,
the metronome.
I feel bad for Pedri because he'll set up like a perfect goal scoring opportunity and then like Lamine will miss it, or like I remember Koundé missed one against Betis. He's been unlucky, but obviously Pedri opens up the whole play for Barca,
Yeah,
so it's a
absolutely.
different style of
style.
player. Okay, so that was the third question.
Alright.
Now we'll go with another old one. Barca famously defeated Real Madrid 6-2 in 2009. This is more your guys' era. But
You're calling me old?
call it Luke old. So anyway, 6-2 Barca beat Real Madrid. Someone famously scored someone famously made 4 assists that day for Barca. Was it Xavi, Iniesta, Thierry Henry, or Lionel Messi? It's a bit of a guess one, like, unless you remember the game, but
Was that Ronaldinho special?
no, that was like 2005. This is 2009.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
Sorry, one more time.
who
Options?
assisted 4 goals in Barca's 6-2 win over Madrid in May 2009? Xavi, Iniesta, Thierry Henry, or Leo Messi?
Henry.
You got Henry?
I'm gonna go. That's what I thought first. I don't want to go the same. I don't want to be boring. I'm gonna go in and go Iniesta.
Both incorrect.
Oh!
Who was it?
Messi.
Xavi.
Xavi.
Xavi. The one you wouldn't expect, really, maybe.
Xavi.
But obviously Xavi. He's the man.
He's the man.
Okay, so that's...
I'm still a point behind, don't I?
Yeah, so it's 2-1
2-1.
because you both got 1 correct. Okay, this is the last question, and it is worth...
Snatch and grab away from home. This.
This one's worth 2 points.
2 points.
So if
Winner
Luke's...
takes all.
Yeah, winner
Winner
takes
takes
all.
all.
Winner
Right,
takes
fairs,
all.
fairs. Let's do it.
Okay. Which player has more goals this season? Ferran Torres or Vinicius Jr.
Ferran.
in La Liga? You gone with Ferran?
Yeah.
He's gone Ferran.
In La Liga.
Interesting
In La
here.
Liga.
In La Liga. In La Liga.
In La Liga.
I'm gonna go
Vinicius.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go opposite to him. I'm gonna have to go opposite to him because
Wait.
Am I allowed to change my answer?
Yeah, I suppose.
Sorry.
So
Wait.
Vinny.
He's gone Vinny.
Should I stay with Ferran? I mean, I think it's Vinny.
Okay. Whoever you think it is.
It's in La Liga.
In La Liga. In La Liga. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Final answer.
Vinny.
Go for Ran.
Vinny's the right answer.
Sorry.
It was a bit of a. It was a trick.
That was poor.
Mind tricks
Do
there.
you know why? Do you know why it's a trick? Because Fran's
Yeah.
got more in all
Yeah,
competitions.
he does. But Vinny has 11 in La Liga and Ferran has 10.
Oh.
Good ball knowledge, to be fair.
Yeah.
Good ball knowledge.
Sorry.
Okay,
Luke,
so Matt, your debut appearance on La Liga Talks.
pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great effort, son.
Snatch and
Thank
grab.
you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Okay, so well, that's the quiz done. Last thing we need to do
I know what it's gonna
is
be.
give our El Clasico
Oh.
predictions.
This is
Okay.
when we get hate from Barca and Real Madrid fans, right?
So, I think like from the general vibe of the conversation, it seems like Barca are favourites.
They're
Yeah.
the favourites, aren't they?
I think so.
But I mean,
But
could
heavy
throw a
legs.
curveball in there,
Yeah, heavy legs.
depending
and
on what happens in the Champions League, I'm gonna bring it straight to Mr. Bridle.
So
Just talk us through what you're thinking, and then give us a.
yeah, I mean that Copa del Rey final was a lot closer. I think if Barca play that way again, they might come unstuck. Obviously, the legs we can't ignore. At the start of the season,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have thought Hansi Flick's where he would be currently.
Mhm.
We got some young players in there. They've played a lot of games. I think this might be the game it finally comes unstuck for them.
Whew.
So I'm gonna go Real Madrid narrow victory 2-1.
2-1 goal scores.
I'm gonna go Mbappe brace, and we'll have Ferran Torres as a sub.
Ooh,
I really
I
like that.
Actually, that's a good
really
prediction.
like that. Can I just copy it?
Okay, over to you, Matt,
Oh.
the Real Madrid expert. Have you been to the training ground this week, by the way? Has any like?
No, I'm going later.
Interesting anecdotes? Okay.
We're going on Friday or
Okay.
Saturday. I can't remember.
Right.
It's on Sunday the game, so it'll be Saturday. I really liked Luke's answer. I have to say, I'm gonna say I don't think Real Madrid can afford another loss.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only thing they can win. The only chance to get their hands on the trophy. So I'm gonna go with an upset.
2 upsets.
I think Gerard Martin and Eric Garcia, if they do start, are going to struggle. And I think we could see Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 3.
Oh,
That'd be a classic
I'll
El
take
Clasico. That would.
I'm going to go doblete, 2 goals for Mbappe, goal for Jude Bellingham.
Whew.
And Barca, if Lewandowski's back, he'll get one, and another one for Pedri.
Did you see that being a late win? 3-2, are we close? Would Jude Bellingham be clutch once more?
Good question. Yeah, let's go for drama. 89th minute, Real Madrid winner.
Okay.
And then La Liga is back on.
Yeah, that would leave it to 1 point. So we've got 2 people expecting Real Madrid to win. Over to me. Now, this is where the prediction gets real. I'm predicting a Lamine Yamal masterclass. This will be a performance remembered like the Ronaldinho one in the Bernabeu. Because he's had a couple of moments against Real Madrid this year, but he hasn't completely stolen the show in a Clasico yet. And this is his final boss.
Damn, you might be right.
4-0 Barcelona.
4.
Lamine hat-trick and a Lewandowski goal.
Damn.
Whatever happens,
Be a good one.
we want a competitive game. We want a game full of drama. You know, it's going to be all the A-list celebrities are going to be there. So, yeah, we're absolutely buzzing. Thank you for coming on, Matt. It's been a
Absolute pleasure. Hasta la próxima, as they say in Spanish.
Hasta la próxima.
We'll be back on soon.
Guys, let us know your predictions for El Clasico in the comments. We want to see some debate in the comment section. So yeah, get involved.
Like and subscribe, as always. We love bringing this type of episode to you.
And guys, there's going to be so much content coming from El Clasico on the La Liga socials, all the platforms that we post on. So keep your eyes peeled and hopefully it's a classic.